Hello, y'all. I have a new microphone on today. The one I've been using lately kind of quit working. So let me see. So let me know how well you can hear. I can talk louder. I can do like this, whatever. So today we're making bunny boxes, and these are based on peeps. And I haven't bought any peeps for 5 years, so I kind of have petrified peeps. See, this one, it's like a little rock. So that's my little petrified peep. And I just think it's kind of an iconic shape, and it's very simple, so that's why I used it as the model for this. Oh, and then I got these. Wait, I'll show you these in a minute. I got my bunny ears on. They kind of hurt my head. I may not keep them on very long, but we're going to be working top down, meaning you're going to be seeing my workshop. So for this, I use cardboard for the, a pretty flexible cardboard for the base of the bunny, but you can use regular cardstock. And then I used either 110 cardstock or watercolor paper, which is just slightly thicker, to make the side strips. So, okay, yes, it's a happy St. Patty's Day, and I wanted to show you something because I finished it. This was my other version of the leprechaun house, and instead of doing the stone, I did kind of an overlay like a timber frame house. And in the back is our little, let me hold it up to my little thing. In the back is the little pot of gold we made, and I'll show it to you. I didn't glue it down yet, but that's it. I'll show it to you close up in a minute. So I was really happy. I like the way the little shamrock fence looks. So that is the leprechaun house. I don't have green clothes, but I wore my teal kind of sweater. That's about as green as I get. I'm kind of a blue-gray person in terms of colors. In terms of clothing colors, how about that? Okay, I see Kelly and Pam, and I've talked to Trina and Tracy, and Jeannie's here. Thank you for the ears. Yes, that you like my ears. The cats like them too. They're pretty intrigued with the little feathers flopping around. So, let me see. I mentioned the materials. I think any kind of glue, because this paper is pretty flexible. I'm going to use my quick dry for the most part. And I do paint them. But you could, like if you use cardstock, you don't have to paint them. But you do have to do the eyes and the nose. I thought it was easier to just paint it, because it's basically 3 circles, and that's the way the little peeps look. It's just 3 circles. So let me see if anybody has any questions. I see Diane's from South Carolina. I'm in South Carolina. I'd like to see Joanne Weber. I hope I say her name right. Weber. Her leprechaun house that she finished. And let's see. I think, like I said, I think I'm going to switch to get started. And Nan is here. Hey, Nan. Yeah, I like the shutters too. And I didn't have a score line, but I bent the shutters a little bit so they stand out better. Yeah. Okay, let me go to my click. Rotate my camera. I actually have a lot of stuff to show you. Okay, I think these are hysterical. These are little wind-up peeps. I just think they're so funny. I had to buy them. I try not to buy little stuff like this, but I mean, honestly, a wind-up peep. Isn't that funny? So, that's my wind-up peep. There. I'll move them out of the way. This is the one I did. This one is unpainted, but I covered it with glue, Mod Podge, and then I used some sand, because if you look at a peep, it's got a little kind of sugary texture to it. You see how it's kind of rough? And so I wanted to mimic that, but I didn't want to make a whole bunch of paint mixed up. So I just painted with glue, and then I used this fine sand, which really is almost like glitter. It's a nice sand, and it's very inexpensive. So that's what I used for the texture on that one. Okay. So this is the way the pattern works. There's a background piece. There, you need two background pieces. This is the top, the bottom, this is the top. And then you need two sizes to go inside. So this is the smaller one. Obviously you can tell the ears are smaller. And let me see, is this the larger one? Yes. So I use this one as the top. The inside is just slightly smaller, and then this one is, you know, small enough so that they'll fit inside each other. Okay, the other thing is, you know, from seeing my stuff, I don't do things exactly symmetrical, so one of the ears is fatter than the other. So when you make it, you kind of need the mirror image. Let's see, let me make sure. Okay, so this is the fat ear. Let's line it up with this fat ear. And I'm going to try to keep it that way. And then here's the trick that I found. You know, when we made our shamrock, I did it with glue and I went around the edge. But for this, I learned kind of a really cool way to do it. Trying to keep the same orientation. Okay, first I fold. I make little creases. Actually, this crease is for the ears. I make little creases where the curves change shapes, change directions, or the indentations are. I'm folding the little flaps up. And let's see. Okay, so I just bent it. Now let's make a good crease there. That's one. And that's two. So now we will, I didn't exactly do that one in the right place. Oh, I see Susan Latz. Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so here is the trick. I really think this is pretty cool for making kind of dimensional things like this. And I kind of figured it out when I made some egg boxes, but it works well for this shape as well. It might work for the shamrock. I first made this in 2020, so it's a long time ago. And that's one reason I'm showing it to you, because I've got so many things. There are like over 400 posts. At first, the first year I didn't know how to make patterns very well, and every year I get better and better at it. So a lot of times I have to go back and fix patterns before I show them to you. Okay, there you go. You see that I'm over gluing again. All right, I'm going to match up one of these things, and then basically all you do is slide it under. And that way you're holding down the tabs. Let me get that dried glue out of the way. You're holding down the tabs without having to hold each individual piece down. See how easy that is? And then once we get it all the way around, we'll glue it to the background piece. I hope I'm doing this right. Which one? Yes. And if you want, you can painter's tape, which is really like my third hand. I am going to tape one down, tape this down just a little bit. Kind of my starter piece. So you see, and that's so much easier than going getting. Then when you glue it down, the tabs will all be adhered. All right, let's do the other side. And I'm going to flip these up, flip these down. Hello, Vanessa. So you got the quick dry. I like quick dry for structural stuff. Okay, let's match up. Match it up here. Insert it in there. And let's try to estimate better where it goes here. Kind of in the middle of that tab, so I'm just going to trim that tab. Oh, hey, Debbie. Happy to see you here, Debbie O'Neill. Debbie O'Neill is a designer, too. She makes cool stuff. I've met her on a number of events. You know, we do all these online events. It's a way of meeting people and sort of sharing what you do. So I've had a really good time doing that. Okay, wait. There. Now I'm going to fold it here. I really like Barely Art glue too. I was so glad when I discovered it. I used another brand that was nice. It was really nice. But it kept clogging. Every time I always had to stop and unclog the tip. It was really frustrating. Not exactly right. And if you want to make this with kids, hey Michelle, if you want to make this with kids, I would try to estimate where the folds are and then just show them how to slide it underneath. Michelle, there's no late. This is fun. This is crafting. This isn't mandatory. It's not like doing taxes, which is my goal for this week. Which is my scary goal for this week. As much as I love paper, I don't like paperwork. What I call paperwork. Okay, now I'm going to attach these two. And so I'm going to remove my piece of blue. My blue tape, rather. I'm going to match up the crease. That needs to go first. And now I'm just sliding it under. Oh, hey, Cheryl. Happy to see Cheryl. I always love to see Cheryl and her work. Cheryl's work is really fun. The Easter contest, what I call the Easter house contest, is now open. I have 2 entries already. I was kind of shocked because I didn't really tell people like I meant to, but the Easter contest is open. and it goes until April 15th. It's an Easter house or a spring house. It doesn't have to be specifically Easter. But one thing I've found with the Easter contest or this Easter spring contest is people are very creative. What they do, did you see how easy it was to go around the corner? I'm holding it down so I can keep these edges down. And I'm going to do my tape right here. I think I'll reuse this tape. Tape this piece. Oh, it's quick dry tacky glue. It's thicker than kind of the standard. I never say, I think this is Aileen's. I think it's pronounced Aileen's. So she did the initial tacky glue, but I like the quick dry. It's a little thicker, and I do think it dries just a little faster. Basically because it has less water in it. Or conversely, it could be more, what do you call it? Resin, the resin that makes it glue together. Okay, let me see if I did that right. Okay, this doesn't overlap as much as I wanted, but now we do the ears, and you just make a crease so that you've got enough to go around. And let me trim it. So I've used a total of 3 pieces. These are about 9 or 10, oh, I hope I did, yeah, I did. 9 or 10 inches long. And I've been playing around with tabs because I got a new, I made this really cool thing for a new event, for the Cricut Adventure. I can tell you about it on Monday, April 7th. So if you're thinking about a VIP ticket, Monday, April 7th at 9 a.m. And I'm really tickled about it. Most of you are here because you like 3D things, and I know they're harder, but obviously they're my favorite. You can tell. Okay, so let me go ahead and tear off a piece of tape. Oh, I see Helen Roberts. I think she lives in South Carolina too. I think she moved to South Carolina not too many years ago. Although I don't think I've ever met up with anybody in my group. One of these, I kind of have fantasies one day of doing an in-person event. Like having a little in-person thing. You know, meeting at a hotel, and we'll do a few craft projects. But mainly I just want to meet you guys. Not this year. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, I always worry that my stuff is too hard. So but I just like the 3D stuff. It just makes me happy. And some of them have a purpose. You know, a lot of the decorative stuff we do doesn't really have a purpose. But that's also one reason much of my stuff is small. Like my houses are pretty small. Okay, I'm fiddling. I'm not sure I got much glue in there. I don't think I did. Just ooch it in. Come on. One thing, you know, I use a lot of glue, but also glue has to dry to get sticky. So if you use too much, if you use a lot, you kind of slow down the drying process. I think that's my problem here. I use too much glue. Okay. That's most of the bunny. Now you see, not all of them are holding down exactly right, but they will when we smush them into the bigger piece. And remember, I said it's not exactly symmetrical, so I match up the big ear. All right, now we're going to apply our glue to the outside of this. And we'll get all our tabs to lay down. If you want to put a little extra underneath. Yes, I know. Meeting people, I saw what Pam wrote. She's in North Carolina. I just think meeting people would be so fun. And I'd make up a couple of kids. You'd have to charge some money just for, reserving the rooms and stuff like that. And then making up some kits. Okay, wait. Now I have to get rid of this. Okay. Oh, and the other thing, I always try to remember to tell people this, even though I don't always do it. If you want glue to stick faster, if you smear it a little bit, it will adhere faster. So I don't even get much glue on top there. Yeah, after we all isolated during COVID, and, I think we kind of crave human connection. But the reason I can't do it this year is I've never been to Europe, and Ben and I are going to Europe in part of probably May, the very end of May and the beginning of June. And so what I'm gonna try to do is do the lives from Europe and just kind of show you some architecture and stuff, some stuff I find inspiring. So do a quick live. Well, Delvine, we can, we don't have to just have one. Delvine's in South Africa. Yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. I was going to say we can do different places, but it would probably be in the U.S., but see, there's our first half. All right. Yes, glue near the edge. Jeannie says that. That's exactly right. If you want this to adhere. And if you want to put a weight on it, or you can still do some tape. Just kind of easily, just put a little bit of tape there. There we go. All right, first half. Now, remember, I wanted to be sure I've got it as a mirror image. Okay. And now, basically, we do the same thing. I'm not going to take the time to do that just because it takes, well, I guess I could. What do you think? Y'all tell me. Do you want to see me do the other half? Because then we'll know that they fit inside each other. That's the challenge. Okay, let's see. This one's smaller, so you don't need quite as much. Let's just get the ears. Fold for the ears. And be sure you fold it at 90, so you just line it up like this. And if it ends in half a tab, just snip it. Okay, I am doing, I'll do the other one, the inside one. I'll try to be a little quicker. And also this is narrower, so these tabs extend a little much, so I'm going to trim the tabs down a little bit. Right at the tip of the ear. That's it. I think that's about the only place you need it. So they'll slide. Okay, we'll snip these 3. Make sure we get around the edge. Okay, I'm going to cut it here. All right, 2 more sides. I had to take my bunny ears off. They were hurting my head. Are y'all doing anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? Or what about food? Are you cooking any special food for St. Patrick's Day? We tried to make soda bread one time. It was terrible. It was not. I was like, because I actually make a lot of bread, but I didn't like the soda bread. I'm like, that's kind of a failure on my part. It might have been my cooking. I'm not the best in the world. You know, the best cook in my family is actually my brother Ben. He cooks for us on Saturday nights. We always get together. Oh, you did? Susan made corned beef sandwich. That's kind of the tradition, isn't it? Corned beef. Ben and I usually go out to lunch after this, or a late lunch. And I'm curious to see what they have for St. Patrick's Day. I love cabbage. So if they have cabbage, I usually get a veggie plate. And if they have cabbage, I will definitely choose cabbage. Okay, we got that one going. Now let's go ahead and match this one up. Oh, okay, Vanessa had her corned beef and cabbage. Yeah, my stomach's already growling just thinking about it. Monday is Lucy Day. That's funny. And your dog watches. That's interesting. I was reading about this animated movie that animals really like to watch, apparently. It's called Flow. And it's really kind of cool. People were saying their dog because they use animal sounds. They used animal sounds in the movie, and so it's kind of compelling to animals, to dogs and cats. Oh no, Delvine is sick. Yeah. Bronchitis and gastroenteritis. That's really bad. Okay, let me see if I matched them up right. Did my curves. Yep, I think that looks good. All right, now it's glue time. Okay, this time we're gonna experiment. And I'm gonna try to smear the glue better, see if it holds better. And I do like it in the crease too, but really, you want these silly tabs. Anytime I make a curved thing, I do a lot of little tabs. That's kind of a clue for my Cricut adventure. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, I didn't smear. I was supposed to smear. Let's smear. Oh, Cheryl said their dog loved that movie. I really love cats, and in a way, the cat's kind of the hero. Okay, it's popping out here. My third hand for the tape. And then I'll have to wash my mat because I've gotten glue all on it. So use a non-sticking mat that you can wash. Because, like I said, you have to slide it under. So it needs to be a mat you can slide on. You could use a glass mat. Kim Holtz has a really nice glass mat. I don't use it for the most part during these events because it's reflective and I don't have my lights set up very well to handle that problem. So there, let's see if we got it. Okay, they're holding. Let's match this one up and try to glue faster too. Yeah, Ben and I both have cats that we've rescued from either work or home. I think I've got our neighborhood fixed now. Used to, there would still be, we kept getting new cats, but I think I've gotten everybody fixed. So, unless people, dump more cats, we should be good. I call it catchuration. We both have as many as we want. I actually really only want 2. I would like 2 that liked each other. Okay. Let's start with the steepest place. Match those 2 up. And I've got so much on my fingers. I have to take this one off. And I'm actually going to trim it because I don't want that much redundant. Let me make sure I go there. I don't want it to overlap that much. I got tape stuck to me. I got glue stuck to me. A little more tape. Okay, and if you bend it so that it goes in just a little bit, that's kind of okay, because then you have a better chance that it'll fit properly. And it's sticking pretty good. Ideally, what I would have done is cleaned my mat after the first one, because now it's sticking to the mat. So here, let me do. After doing these lives for a while, I finally learned to keep wet paper towels beside me. Used to, my trusty assistant had to go get them. But finally I learned to do it before I sit down. Oh, Tracy has a 3-month-old puppy. Now that has got to be fun and challenging. Okay, now we're going to add the ears. And it's sticking pretty well, you can see. Now this is the earpiece. Let's see, I don't want it to overlap that much, so I'm just going to trim it. That's one ear trimmed, and I think that one's okay. Apply the glue again. Oh, Michelle says she uses a lot of glue too. Jeannie asked about the cardboard. This is actually cardboard I bought. It's called 22-point cardboard. And what that means is that it's relatively flexible. I used to use 30-point, but I had to keep running it through my machine to cut it. And so I switched to 22. And you know, I do enough painting and overlay and stuff that my cardboard, even the really flexible 22-point, is perfectly sturdy for my houses. But I also try to make sure that, see how nicely, I forgot to smear it, but you see how nicely that went around? Oh, Pam has 2 schnauzers. My sister has a schnauzer, Gus. He's kind of a mess. I think he's what you call a reactive dog. So keeping him calm it requires work. He's very pretty. He's kind of a brown schnauzer. So it's a really pretty color. I haven't had a dog in a while. If we weren't traveling, I probably would get one soon. But like I said, we want to go some places. Well, we're still, you know, nice and mobile. We can walk easily and stuff. Okay, I think I moved it when I taped it. Okay, hold there. And if it's going to move, then I'm going to tape it on the back. I'm going to tape it down here, just put a piece there. While I go around the curve of this ear. Both. So Jeannie has a lot of dogs, 3 big and 3 little. I wonder if the little Yorkie thinks he or she is the boss. Sometimes that happens. Okay, so let's test it. See, it fits on nicely, so that's very reassuring. And let's see what we need to do. We can pull that one off. Actually, I think we can leave all the other tapes there. They're out of the way. Now our glue to the tabs near the edge. Here we go. Okay. See, I got glue down again. Okay, let's smear just a little bit. Center it on my bunny. Oh, wait. Let me see if I'm matching up the ears right. I think that's the wrong side. Nope, it's the right side. Okay, try to center it. Cheryl calls blue tape or Lucy tape. I do love the blue tape. I think it makes life easier. Anything that makes life easier is probably a good thing. One time when I lived in Atlanta, I had 2 cats there, and I lived in an apartment, and I would let them out at night into this courtyard. It was an enclosed courtyard. They couldn't go anywhere, but they had fun exploring. And one night a lady had her little teeny tiny Yorkie out, and I'm like, oh no, my cats are out. And she goes, she won't hurt your cats. And I'm like, I'm not worried about the dog hurting my cats. I'm worried about my dogs. I'm worried about my cats hurting the little tiny Yorkie, because I had 12-pound cats, and she had like a 5-pound Yorkie. Okay, that's it. It fits nicely. Then I'll paint it. And if you want to do this technique to make the surface on it, you can do that. Or you can just do it plain. Or if you want to cover it just with cardstock, you can do that as well. But I like painted surfaces. I just think they work better. Okay, let me see. Do you have any questions about making the bunny box? Oh, and then, wait, let me show you inside. I usually line them with a little bit of tissue paper. And let's see, I don't have any candy in them, but I like to use like the little eggs and, wait, let me see if this has candy. I have some candy, just a second. Yeah, just line them, put a little bit of candy in there. Or little treats, like I like little erasers. Oops, that one's open. Reject. Okay. Vanessa's dog was typing. Wanted to join in on the conversation. Okay, alrighty. So let me see. I'm going to show you some other stuff. So I'm going to flip back to my other camera. If I can find it. Camera. Move this out of the way. Okay, I have a lot of Easter things that I want to do. One, this is an egg box that I made just like the bunny box, and it's really easy because it's the same thing. You slide the tabs under, and this one is my version with the layered version. But this is really what I want to show you. Okay. Actually, I'll show you the undone. I love paper mache eggs. So you get a water balloon and you cover it with paper mache or tissue paper, and it makes this great egg. And you can buy them. You can go somewhere and buy you paper mache eggs, but I like to make them myself. It's just what I define as fun. And but there's so many cool things you can do with them. This one I made using some Tim Holtz dies, and I made like a little diorama, and I just used a little finial to go on the bottom, so I thought that was really fun. But this is my best thing. I called it surprise egg. Okay, so I made a paper mache egg, and then I put a string around it, and then I paper mache'd over it and painted it. And then you open it up, and it's got like a little thing, you put some little treat in it. And so the kids pull the tab and then they get their egg. And if you want to, you can save it. If you cut the egg straight, you can like redo it and surprise them the next year. You can repaint it a different color. But I just thought that was really fun. So paper mache egg, yes. And Tracy said you like the mess. Yes, paper mache is a mess level of minimum 7 because it sort of depends on how many surfaces you get it on. So you got it on your mat, probably get it on your clothes. If you get it on the wall and the floor, that's a mess level 10. But if you just get a little on the floor, I think it's probably a 7, a mess level 7. So, yes, I do like, I like messy crafts. It's just expressive. But isn't the little surprise egg? So, 1 week we'll make a paper mache egg, and then the next week I'll show you how to make it, turn it into a surprise egg. And if you want to see the, I think I've already got probably my most popular videos for paper mache egg and surprise egg. So those are already done. But it's kind of nice to do at least some of it live because I can see your questions. And also you see the stuff that I haven't edited out. Vanessa says mess level 15. So that means she has to take a bath afterwards. Yeah. But I lined this one with blue tissue paper. That was my first layer, so that becomes the inner layer. And I really liked the way it looked. And then, you know, I found like the perfect little bunny to go in the egg. So, okay, alrighty. I'll see you next week with some kind of egg craft. I actually have a lot of things, and then I have a layered bunny that's really cute. So I have to get a lot done before Easter, which is April 20th. And remember, if you like to make little houses, make a Easter or spring house, because I think you'll see how creative it is. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you for all your encouragement. And I will see you next week, Monday, 2 p.m. Same time, same bat channel. Alrighty. Thank you, you guys. Bye.